on the button. We're going to give MIBR a round to begin the game with, just so they have an actual chance.
Yeah.
That's a twisted joke. They have no chance.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So now it's the pistol round, I think. I don't know if they have... Oh, we are still officially in warm-up. We're still officially in warm-up, so not exactly sure what's... Oh, wait, maybe we... No, maybe MIBR actually snuck a pistol round in before we got vision of it. It looks like they're taking it very seriously. I'm going to go ahead and assume that MIBR won a pistol, and they're on the anti-eco because NaVi are on full alert with low guns. They have some utility to work with. And just as Connor mentioned, this is a map, which is Overpass, a map that NaVi were able to beat Astralis on just now in the last round. And interestingly enough, it's also the map that is being played right now with Astralis and FaZe. So that is also quite curious. Lots of game tape there, but they don't get a chance to review it, which is kind of the good thing. You know, not going to be too much anti-stratting or stuff going over the average viewer's head. Instead, it's just going to be them trying to play their own game. Maybe think about like how the rounds went, see what sides are weaker, but for the most part, just sticking to what they know. Here's a bit of a standoff as Zeus is in front of a smoke, and Stewie, staring directly at his radar, kills him easily, but only to be traded by Electronic, and they are still not safe in this round.
No, we've got the Flamey Deagle out monster. That's met by another MP9. So the SMG is doing work, and Electronic happens to have an SMG of his own now. That's been retrieved. With the bomb on his back and a smoke in his hand, he's going to try to pull a ruse. That smoke should go all the way up towards A if he had a strong enough arm. All the while, Edward's just waiting for his to fade. Now it's going to be the run out immediately. Dinking Tarek, there's the damage. Edward and Electronic combined for 2, and they are back into the round ever so slightly. The plant off of the side of the smoke should be good. But the HP here for MIBR is so substantial compared to that of the remaining NaVi members.
Yeah, but that's what it was even for those last 2 engagements. You know, getting away with a murder there, but the utility make things a whole lot easier.
Yeah, it's going to section off the last 2. They're going to go for the boost over the top. Oh, and Fur's not going to spot this. Electronic, he needs to make the play. He stuck the defuse amidst all of it. MIBR will win this round.
Just barely, and again, this game could come down to rounds, so to lose one like that is kind of impressive. I feel like there's that was a good boost. I don't know if Electronic actually spotted him. We have spectator smokes, which are on different cycles, so maybe he didn't exactly know or thought he saw a clear bomb site. Got the wrong information, and then that ended up costing them the round. Fur gets the last 2 kills as well, so there's a bomb plant in it for NaVi, and MIBR at least take the victory itself. So winning the anti-eco just barely, but it's good enough, I'd say. We get to move into this.
Ooh, aggressive buy.
As we know with NaVi, they like to strike when the iron's hot. If people are low on economy, they will take a risk. Have someone low on guns. Don't know, again, why Simple only has a deagle. Give him the goddamn AK. It just doesn't make any sense.
Listen, at least Zeus doesn't have it instead.
Yeah,
you know?
That's Edward.
That's true. Man's been on the up and up. Both him and Zeus, 30 years old.
You put that together, they're retired.
That's true. Yeah, that's a valid point, yeah. It's crazy to me to think that Fallen's only 27 in comparison.
He's 27?
Fallen is 27 years old.
Oh, Fallen. I thought you said Simple.
Oh, no.
Okay. Yeah, you know, Fallen can be often caught in public wearing dad jeans. He gives off the aura of being much older than he is.
You're older than Fallen.
Yeah. I'm also wiser and better at Counter-Strike, so in my opinion, it adds up.
I think you've lost it, Launders. But MIBR haven't lost this B site. Not yet, that is. Whoa, we've got the clash between Stewie and Flamey. And it's the former to pick up the kill. Now off of that, NaVi's going to try charging forward. Zeus with that ump has been able to cut down one player, and Cold Zera ejects into the water just in time for Fur to connect some shots. But NaVi are still successful in their endeavor. Low HP, 15 health combined here between the 2 remaining players for NaVi. And Fallen's got the high ground.
Cracking open the B site was a good play. Fallen from here. He has to make noise to get down. It's going to be tough.
But if somebody walks into the open, that's one thing. They come around the corners, what look like simultaneously.
Yeah, they wanted to take a peek at Heaven. They timed it extremely well, and even though they kind of slunk out a little bit, it was just enough to make it too difficult for Fallen to figure out what target he wanted to take down first. B-site gets cracked open once again, and it was not likely, I think, at this point, after we saw Stewie get his first kill there, and NaVi have this kind of busted buy to work with, that they opened it up, but they did manage it. I'm quite surprised. NaVi steal one back, and I would imagine that MIBR don't have much money left over. In fact, it's so little that they decide they need to force. They're going to go ahead and grab some armor, pistols, and a couple of smokes and flashes. Do they have a game plan in mind? Stairs control is on the docket. A couple of players pushed up towards A. Waiting for a reaction.
Oh, they're definitely going to get something. Tarek's ready for it. Oh, there's the first kill. A little bit of disjointedness between the NaVi players, and he nearly steals a second. Not meant to be. Fallen comes downwards, and that's the effective trade fragging here to the favor of MIBR. NaVi have to go all in on Monster. They've got to push through and through. They're looking to catch a duel and a kill before they do so. But really, be wary. There's 2 AKs up for MIBR. Those are retrieved weaponry. Hot off the black market. Stu lies in wait just beneath the bomb site. Coldzera actually pops one from above. And now Simple's been sectioned off. Sure, he's still got that bomb, so he'll have to double back. And when he does so, Fur is ready. This is a really tough spot for NaVi to try to get out from or into, because again, that flank's so open. Fur's now activated, and that's all it takes. MIBR went around with just pistols.
Interestingly enough, they do it, and with the hold B, which looks so rickety in those previous 2 rounds, so I think surprising themselves with that one. I don't know exactly what to chalk it up to, maybe just the fact that NaVi couldn't hit their shots. Trades look maybe a bit suspect. Obviously, Tarek starting off the round with his initial deagle kill, but there's Fallen coming in for the trade on top of that, so they aren't able to protect the AKs, which is a big deal, and Coldzera. I mean, look at that 1 dig. That can be where it begins and ends sometimes, especially when it rocks you literally and psychologically. Now it's all pistols on the board for NaVi. It is kind of crazy that this is going so back and forth. In my opinion, NaVi have looked quite like a lot better than MIBR, winning more rounds or getting closer to winning more unlikely rounds than MIBR so far. But MIBR are falling on their feet. They at least get to now kind of recollect themselves. And I feel like at some point we've got to see the old MIBR. And by old, I mean, you know, last month or even last week, where they looked a lot more consistent, a lot stronger. Not that this map will be easy. Again, and NaVi were able to take down their biggest rivals at the moment on right here just 10 minutes ago.
Poor old Papa Fallen has been put to sleep. Just wanted to sit inside of middle, had no support from the bomb site either. Nobody trade frags that one. Silver lining for MIBR, it's just the ump offered over. So the remaining MIBR members will still have an edge in terms of guns. 40 seconds left up. NaVi really playing with their time. Oh boy, late reaction. That's going to cost him a lot of his health. He's down to 17, and he is dropped at that range by a P250.
You've got to take some time to figure that one out, because...
and another body spotted. Coldzera, like, what's going on here? MIBR, they seem cold. They're going to start picking up these pieces here between Tarek and Stu. It's a 2v2, but it's another bomb plant for NaVi. This goes into what you were just saying, Mohan, about how NaVi are still looking fantastic. They've gotten themselves in all these weird spots. They've been cutting it down into the one-man surviving situations, and that's the case yet again. Tarek has to clutch this, and he has no teammates to work with.
No kits, no nades. He has 1v2, and the only reason he really wants to go for this is he knows he's going up against pistols. But that's been too much. And there it is, the second double peak, the 2v1, the eco round. It's all looking too familiar here for NaVi as they steal another one away. And once again, put MIBR in an economically desperate situation. Not enough money for even a single rifle if they want to armor up on that player. And this is such a shame for to die to a P250 from that distance. That's kind of how it all falls apart. And there is so much frustration on the face of Tarek at the moment, and it is totally warranted. I don't know what is wrong with them. I know yesterday Yanko was still jet lagged. I know they only had, I think, 6 days to prepare together, but I don't know if it's the rest of the team that still is jet lagged. The first day we saw him, and I can't handle these excuses because all teams are flying in from different places and whatever, and they, they're all used to this. But Fallen on the first day said he woke up at 5 a.m. and that's kind of what happens. But at the same time, we're 2 days away. You get the extra day to get here, then you get the extra day to play, and then this is where you pull it all together. You can't really rely on that. It's not something you would like to hear somebody use as an excuse for their team. I don't think they would want to either. So I'm not exactly sure, but it just really feels like a lot of it is just straight up mechanical.
And a shot from Fallen. Luckily he's got Tarek by his side. So for now all 5 members of MIBR survive, but that didn't last very long. It's the scout down. Still 4 pistols up, 50 seconds on the clock. Molotov's gonna burn Fur into the open. That should be an easy duel for Edward, and it most certainly is. Now Zeus is activated towards mid. coldzera within the bomb site just cannot land a deagle for his life. P250 on Stewie's good for 2 headshots. Has he got himself the note? Not gonna happen. That would have just been unreal.
That was exciting, wasn't it? Holy smokes. Just the sliding P250 kill into a second icy shot. And, there's a small thought in the back of my head that was like, he's going to win this.
This is going to happen.
Yeah, Stewie would. That's usually the other thing is when his team's doing well, Stewie is that guy who I think gets the most angry and gets the most focused.
Right.
I think that's actually a huge thing with Stewie is getting mad to get ready. I think he some quote on his Instagram that's just set a tone of intolerance for anything that gets in the way of winning. That's his quote from his bio on Instagram.
Yeah, that's pretty extremist.
That is Stewie, yeah. That is Stewie. And I think he joined this team because everybody else is the same way. But you can still definitely see when individually he gets fired up because people are lagging behind, and sometimes that pulls his teams back into it. They see that he's not lost sight of the goal and that he is here to play the match. There's no tomorrow. There's no next time. This is the only time that we'll have Blast Pro Series in Copenhagen 2018. We might come back next year, but that's a whole another story. Who knows where players and teams will be at that point, If you're in the server, there's no reason to let yourself get psychologically psyched out. You need to just stay focused because every round is very important.
Right, not just rounds of maps either. I'm talking rounds in game.
Time waits for no man.
Duel by duel. Frag by frag. We've got the 3-man stack up inside of the short water. Fur begins to pull the trigger, and it's just not there. He's got backs turned to him. Now, obviously, they know that there's another double setup for MIBR inside of this corner. Tarek probably feels like a caged beast. And on 1 HP, he's done for.
Wow.
Put a fork in it.
Yeah, just whatever, I guess. Just whatever. Throw the USB. Doesn't see himself getting a kill, and yeah, they are seeming very fed up.
That's an angsty teenager type move.
Absolutely is.
Don't even want to kill.
Yeah. The boost getting mollied out. And I guess this is a sign for NaVi to try to just run away with things. They are now in a better spot. I think that Tarek just threw the white flag at them a little bit, and they still, again, they're here to try to win points. They could have a very reasonable amount of points if they win their next 2 maps. They still wouldn't be able to get into finals, but 6 is so infinitely better than 0. I think there's teams that might be left with 6 that started off yesterday strong, so lots of good reasons for them to go ahead and give it their best shot. And again, they kind of controlled the destiny of NaVi in this game, who also, I think, have to worry about round difference. It's going to come down to the more nuanced statistics for them as well. I think that is definitely the predominant storyline. Which
is definitely when you don't want to start giving away these rounds to just pistol buys. And that's something we've seen from each of these teams already here in the opening 7. However, this round's a full-fledged purchase. Edward's going to lose the duel versus Fur. Picked up the first. Now, Fur can't get entirely out of dodge, so Zeus picks him up. There's another duel open for the taking. It's left us 3 versus 3. Bomb. working its way out through Monster, and MIBR will just be towards Graffiti, sitting patiently for the site.
Yeah, not a bad setup to deal with this engagement. I think they might take a risk and try to rotate early. I'm seeing, yeah, even Heaven, the player to rotate for May, is the first one in, but Tarek immediately gets taken down.
Electronic can't push anything further, so it's kept us even 2v2. Bomb down behind the boxes, that's a surefire plant. 5 seen one. Single flashbang on Stewie 2K. No grenades elsewhere. Flamey picks up that first duel, and it's going to fall onto coldzera. 44 HP, and he's walking inwards. How many times have we seen NaVi in a situation like this with low health on the remaining players? This is at least the third here on the B bomb site. Bomb's halfway gone. coldzera not currently holding on to a kit either. He has to pick up the pace, and he's trying to figure out where they're at, but nobody's giving up anything. So he taps the bomb, picks up the swift headshot, but I don't believe there's time. This one is done. Simple's gonna pick up the clutch, and NaVi another round.
Yeah, and that was, you know, 2 players with 15 HP is worth infinitely more than 1 player with 30, and they stretched that advantage to its maximum by having 1 on short and then 1 on the left side, outside Monster, tucked into that corner just to force someone to hard clear it. And then even if that kill came out, there were so many ways to delay for time. It was incredibly difficult for our man, is it Marcelo, to win the 1v2.
Marcelo, who's Marcelo?
coldzera?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think so. I think I have that written down here
coldzera
somewhere.
decided to take a risk, a small risk there.
Well, risky business. Could be in this round too, because we have Stu and the boys on MIBR with pistols. Yes, it is Marcelo.
There we go.
Marcelo, coldzera, David.
Somewhere in my subconscious it said that.
But it's Gabriel who has fallen on long. Still 1 member of MIBR within this A site.
Yeah, only pistols afoot. Nade in the hands of Fur, but the rotations aren't here. They're far back, and NaVi have been bullying A on the anti-ecos a lot of the time. This round will be no exception. Tarek playing from Cole's position. And they've both got deagles. Double Ds.
See how long they can keep their hands on them. It's a fake, Launders. It's grenades at the A-bomb site, keeping the 3 counter-terrorists committed. And all the while, young Jake Yip gonna be sitting down in B. Fur comes in to help him out. Boots hit the dirt fast enough for him to get that deagle up. Still no kills have come in for MIBR, but you can see how scared NaVi are. A little wary of their situation. All the while, Stewie tried to play it cool, only to fall at the hands of Flamey. More damage out from Cold. And it's substantial. Both Zeus and Flamey sitting in the teens. There's another one. Zeus's head clean off. But you know what this is, folks? That's NaVi on fire. Another costly round versus just pistols. We've seen this all too often here on Overpass.
Yeah, it's great. It's symbolic of just how far ahead NaVi are in some regards, even though MIBR have 3 rounds to see them on fire with only a 3-point lead, just because they have really stabilized, and it shows. And again, another pretty solid anti-eco. This time leads them over to B as opposed to A, which is something new. But for MIBR, they seem to be ready and waiting, just not prepared in terms of how much weaponry they had to work with. So the crazy boost. We've got the 4-man and the shots. There it is. coldzera taken out early on.
Fare thee well. The old bamboozler. You know what's gnarly about that boost as well is we see it out of the beginning of rounds, and I think that it's becoming more and more popular. We're seeing different teams throw it. Imagine what you can do with that boost if you're throwing it, say, with 30 seconds left on the clock. You know, it's obviously very dangerous to do such a thing, but if you can have confirmation or a kill towards heaven, I feel like that's a boost we're going to be getting used to seeing.
Yeah, it's a great one to pepper in very sparsely, just once every map, maybe once every few maps. But on those rounds, you know, if you have a setup phase, you don't have a particularly specific thing you want to do early on in terms of putting pressure on map control. You don't think they're going to push very quickly. Go ahead, toss it in, see what happens. And if nobody's there to spot you, you lose nothing. So seemed like a good time to do it. As soon as they have won 5 rounds in a row, what can we do to change the pace up? Make it awkward for MIBR, who are also going to try to make things interesting.
That's That's kind of the insult to the injury here, right? Is that we're seeing this gimmicky boost find a 5 versus 4. The moment MIBR have themselves a full-fledged buy. But all the while, we've had the Brazilians sitting pretty on this B bomb site. Tarek working around the pillar and working Navi one by one. Simple's gonna get him done, and well, Stewie has to fall off at the closer position. Fur with eyes up and Fallen gets into position just in time.
And this flank is no longer good. Not enough time to plant the bomb, and for Edward, doesn't want to die either, man. What is the value? I guess because they are winning, they've won so many rounds, they have enough money to work with. Yeah, taking the hit on that is fine. I think it was kind of cool actually to see how prepared they were for his flank. So it's 3v1. He looks kind of dumb when he dies, but him getting the kill is big. And look at that, coldzera's got to be furious. He's got to be fuming. He's heated.
He's a sitting duck. I mean, he's got the op up and everything.
Wah.
That's a good one.
That's pretty good. Yeah. Denmark, you say tack?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, it sounds like they're all quacking around here.
Yeah, so every time someone says thank you, I mean, we were sitting at a restaurant. Connors, did you hear those ducks? And oh my God, that was in Moscow.
Yeah, that was not even
so
here.
People don't even say tack there.
No, we've been to many places as of late.
There was a lot of fish or a lot of seafood in that restaurant.
It was the woman walking her dog. I said, "That's a beautiful dog." And she went quack.
Quack. Well, it definitely with a T, but yeah, there was it definitely sounded also like an onomatopoeia.
At least we have another big buy out of MIBR. So we're not getting into that constantly strapped for cash type situation.
Definitely not for people from NaVi going up against a full buy, moving out to A early on in full force. And Furs actually countered the Molotov with a smoke to slow things down. There's a gap in it, but it's very awkward. It's hard to tell the depth of which the smoke is going to block off the T's from peeking that. And so it might not be worth the engagement early on just because it can just be a 50-50 duel, or maybe you're even unfavored. And instead, he'll play a little bit far back, but they still have stairs in some regard. They have info here. They have some sound with Tarek playing up top, and you can hear him listening, see him listening.
And anybody listening is going to hear that door swing open.
Yep. Can all kind of experience this synesthesia, try to visualize where these sounds are coming from.
I like that right after the fact, they make that one telegraph play, and then everything falls back into dead silence. But it's off the flurry of grenades that we will have Navi hitting the B-bomb site. Got the Molly to clear the barrels first, Fur with an opening engagement. This very much paints Navi into B. No other options, no rotations, no exits even. And yet it's within the cover of the smoke that we will find them planting the bomb. Flamey's got it in. Wallbang misses its mark, and the retake now on with a double op setup. We're gonna have to watch those riflers move forward, but the moment they try to do so, one's already been cut down, and Electronic gets the side of the flank. That right there is a 3 versus 3 now. So all of a sudden, the importance of this round is just picked up. The pace as well follows suit. It's again an effective trade frag, but it is Navi with an edge. It's fallen into the 1v2, walks up, sees the player floating around the pillar, and he is just being played with. Sure, he'll take Simple out of the equation, but he doesn't have time to defuse this bomb. That's a 7th one for Navi.
Yeah, and he tries to take the op out of the equation as well. Electronic, will he die? Somehow, yeah, actually goes ahead and dies. I don't think Fallen tapped that on the way out, but Electronic was more allured to the thought of getting to make sure that Fallen died, because he knows that Simple was killed by him just now, that he was opping, and that was a gun that they don't want to have to go up against in this round. So I can understand the risk. Edward unfortunately only has a Galil to work with, and 5 dying for Navi. It appears to be hurting a little bit. They're somewhat wounded, but they at least have the op as well. That's a pretty big frag. Stewie was just doing his best to bait that op shot out. And you ask and you shall receive sometimes. Definitely be careful what you wish for a moment for him. Especially in the hands of such a fast opper. Lightning fast. He is pitching 100. Some days you feel it, some days you don't. And for Simple, it feels like that's most days. That you do, not that you don't.
Okay, I was gonna say Launders.
The former.
We're talking about one of the best. Most certainly on Overpass. 1.32 rating over the last 3 months for Simple alone.
It's crazy because, you know, 1.0 is pretty good.
Right.
You know, 1.15 is like exceptional. 1.30 is like, man, stop trying so hard.
It's, well, simple levels.
Simple levels, yeah.
He's actually got the highest multi-kill percentage as well for NaVi on Overpass. 25% of the time he's going to be picking up a multi. That's 1 in 4 rounds.
One every 4 rounds, he's going to get more than one person. That's pretty. It's pretty daunting to have to think about going up against, for sure.
But right now he's going to be walking closer towards bathrooms, Fallen, lying in wait.
Ooh, okay.
Swift shot.
And you know he knows what angles to wait on. He's picked a good one and finds a second.
Ooh, and I like that he repositions inwards
Ooh,
now. There we have it. Gabriel,
all in
loose.
positioning.
He's going to actually continue on his tear. Electronic inside of the corner. Oh, caught swapping guns. That one's going to hurt.
You can't really justify that, can you?
And coldzera with an insult to injury, grabs the op, finishes Edward off, puts NaVi to rest at least for 1 round. And you know what? It's more than one. Check out this cash, Launders.
Right. Yeah, check out this cash. It's like very limited for NaVi. We're rolling into the last few rounds of the first half. I saw a Deagle being purchased, which might be a little bit too much if they're not going to go ahead and buy everything behind it. But quite a round from Fallen, seeming like they're too few and far between at this point. But still, you know, we'll take it when we get them. That's a nice one. Looks solid. Dabs up. They're still looking to close out. And yeah, NaVi did fully invest.
Whoa, and they're going to very fully run into this B bomb site very quick and swift. Tarek tries to commit to the spray. Not going to work out to his favor, but luckily Cold's nearby. Simple just gets turned on. And Fur, how has he managed that second frag? I mean, we're talking rather unequipped NaVi members, but still, he's gone. Tries to just dodge back through spawn. And, well, around the monster, too.
And it's all fantastic movement. The surf to help him get away and just the turnaround flash while always making sure to run at maximum velocity backwards.
What's funny about that is that it's just pulled the electronic out of the bomb site. You know, if he's in short, gets the kill, and can come back towards B, it's not so bad. But he gets pulled all the way to the other side of monster. MIBR now securing the bomb site with 3 players. He gave him the old chase.
Yeah, the old loop-de-loop. And it's going back for another lap. Will he have any F1 race car peaks?
No, sir. Cut short by coldzera. 1 of 2 oppers still up for MIBR.
Close match. Somehow this is a close match, Connor.
It's not supposed to be.
It's not supposed to be. It doesn't feel like it is. It feels like NaVi are much more in this ever since Tarek threw away his USP in despair at the end of one of those eco rounds. It felt like MIBR mentally checked out, but they are very close. They're one round behind, and they have won their fair share of ecos. So as much as the storylines have felt like it's all about NaVi and their chances in this tournament, they seem to be exploitable as well. Which raises even more questions about Astralis, who just played NaVi on Overpass as well.
Whoa. M4s versus pistols?
Okay.
Somehow not going to work.
Why not? Let's do this one more time. I'm ready.
That's a lot of guns given over as well. I mean, because it's not in a position where Fallen can really make anything of it. You know, he doesn't want to be that next liability.
For sure. The problem is he's got to take a risk because they're down players. Versus pistols, having 2 ops is no longer comfortable, especially when you don't have the 3 rifle support. Double op setup's a very specific thing that you use certain situation. Fallen takes, I think, a Deagle body shot, and that'll be enough to have him rush back to A. Trade places with Stewie. And I like that Stewie's being used aggressively, so now they can just cover long, cover B with the ops. But in a retake, this is not going to be too pretty. I guess the one thing they have is that NaVi doesn't have a flash, which I think is the single most important piece of utility that they could to try to fend off these oppers. However, they'll hear that coldzera is jump spotting from the back of B. Oh my god, could you imagine if jump spotting at the back of the site got cold killed?
I mean, that'd be just as insulting as being picked up from T-spawn. Something that cost him his life in this very same position, but that's not the case. We've got the double snipers up. MIBR, they're going to be sending Stewie on a suicide run from the flank. But if he nails the timing, then that's what he's going to be rewarded with, a double kill, as the bomb is most certainly planted. But these ops are going to be drawn in. Oh, like a moth to the light. Fallen tries to peek wide. Luckily, coldzera's here to trade frag a couple of times, but Zeus now needs to get this done. It's 1v1, and Stewie, he's running forward. Zeus is watching already, doesn't see it coming, and there you go. It is MIBR to tie. 7 rounds apiece, and an op grandfathered forward.
Okay, yeah. Just goes ahead and gets the op and the defuse kit to make sure that it's just a quick 5-seconder, and MIBR have tied up 7-7 now, and it's looking a whole lot more interesting. That's looking a whole lot more interesting. Very curious to see where this goes. NaVi should be sweating at this point. Again, they somehow they lose this match. They're just as dead in the water as MIBR. So MIBR might be the zombies of this match, where they're just trying to pull and NaVi down with them. But you can tell it's mostly straight up about winning above all else.
I mean, everybody in this server is a competitor. No one likes to lose.
Full buy in the last round. For once again showing his presence at stairs. I don't think he didn't extinguish the Molotov with the smoke. Maybe so he can go for some kind of cheeky peek. He catches Flamey in the middle of switching guns and also gets information on the second man to trade him without any loss of HP.
Yeah, decides to throw down the smoke. That's going to deny Zeus any vision, but it's not going to stop bullets. Still softens him up for all the while. Just, I mean, losing more and more HP. Oh my God.
Well, that's one way to go. Tarek is going to take that as a call to try to move up, get some information, maybe a kill if he can find it. Stewie's here to jump spot at long, and this is a pretty clean, safe setup. It's going to be quite predictable, I think, for NaVi, but still hard to deal with. They've also got the smoke to refresh at 40 seconds, so that is going to cause a significant rustle in the camp of NaVi, who have to decide when they want to execute. And the more nades they see, the more worried they'll be about how prepared the CTs are.
All right, that's Terrace utility extinguishing itself. It's a perfect wall of smokes. Stewie runs through it, and with just a little HP, it enables Edward to trade frag. Tarek's going to do the exact same thing, picking up the position of his dead teammate. The bomb plant's not going to happen because Tarek's got the backstab. It's all on Electronic. It's a 1 versus 3, and it's cut down to the clutch. Just in the nick of time. It's a fake. He draws out the peak, but it's not going to happen. It's MIBR with an edge.
He took a little risk there because he thought with the heat of the moment, the amount of players that were swarming, that definitely the third one was out. Was probably just going to deny the plant right away, and he didn't know that coldzera was actually playing that quite safely all the way in the back, as he normally is. So slowing it down, playing from the headshot position, it ends up being the correct decision. Could have still won the duel if it came out, but almost certainly would have been surprised to see Electronic get off the bomb with the last second plant. So whole different round we could have seen if Electronic had full information, but instead MIBR take a lead. They've got 8 rounds. They've got 8 rounds, and that half was kind of crazy both ways. It didn't look good in spots, but at the end of the day, there were also some good rounds, and it's just crazy because this is more rounds that MIBR got last map on Train versus NIP.
It's doubled the rounds.
Double the rounds. What? Didn't they get 5 rounds?
I thought it was 4.
Oh, okay. If they got 4, then yeah.
Yes, sir. It was 4.
And for NIP, they beat, or what am I talking about NIP?
Because I've frazzled your brain now.
It's all frazzled at the moment. And for Astralis, they just lost to NaVi. So MIBR are the best team in the world in this first half.
On here on Overpass. You heard it here first. Folks, it's a daunting task to be as far down on the leaderboards as you are if you're MIBR. But they're not letting that sway their competitive edge. They've got a 1-round lead. They've got utility in the pistol with connector control already. It's not a fun place to be in, but it's certainly one that we know it's not going to kill them. If anything, sometimes makes them stronger.
Set from the CTs is all right. The linchpin of the round is the man at bank watching long with the USP. If he somehow dies, then suddenly the A setup is so much weaker, not just because of the man disadvantage, but there it is. A few CTs have jumped. They've made their presence known. The setup is still strong, however.
For the record, First still hasn't made the jump onto the planter. He tried it, and he tried again. The electronics activated from the corner. He's managed himself 2 kills, and he's going to be given a chance at a third, but that's just not going to happen. All the while, Furt will find the head of Zeus. Leaves us 3v3, but the bomb, it's still in the back line. It's off of the flash that coldzera decides to charge forward right into Optimus Prime. Simple from inside of the smoke, catching Fur off guard, sure enough. Leaves it into the clutch. It's all Edward. And he finds nothing further. MIBR with their first T round straight out the gate.
Yeah, straight out the gate. That could have been pretty solid. Splitting pistols here on this map. MIBR starting to walk away with the game a little bit. They are now getting to those critical moments in the second half where you're double digits. You're winning a rifle. So we'll see. NaVi, we anticipate them to force up a lot, and that's kind of like going up against an aggressive poker player. When you go up against somebody who you know is always going to try to shove you or just make that bet a little bit too big, you wonder, are they bluffing or not? And that's going to force you in response, and in this Counter-Strike analogy, to get more rifles than you'd like. But MIBR have actually still only gone with 2 AKs and 3 MAC-10s, just deciding to go for the full pistol setup, and I guess because the CT side, that's less anticipated. Still have to get used to seeing these pistol rounds and how, you know, different teams have different strategies on different sides.
It just opens up so many options. So many options indeed. This one, the near full vanilla save. Just 300 bucks on this man.
Water has been evacuated, and the CTs look to stack. Long has been compromised. Top bathrooms cleared out. A lot of information gained early on. MIBR moving along at a steady pace. Quite deliberate, quite confident, but it is an A stack that awaits them.
And it's a full-fledged A stack. It is all 5 of NaVi's players here in position. I mean, look, the odds of them pulling this off, slim to none. The odds of picking up maybe a couple of kills seem to be slightly better. It's 2 right out the gate before we get any trade frags going back for MIBR. They've left themselves still with 30 seconds. That's enough time to make something happen here. But now the smoke grenades fade. And that's going to enable the guns, you'd think, to pick up a couple more kills, but no way. Launders, there's no way, right? It's just Fur versus Electronic. Bomb's been thrown out into the open. There is 10 seconds left for him to make his play, so he grabs it, and he's going to decide to go for the plant, committing to it. Electronic closes the distance, gets behind the truck, and softens him up. It's 59 HP for Fur, and down he's gone. NaVi with a robbery.
The 2K. Oh my goodness, he gets the second one as well. No armor. Again, they didn't invest into this round. MIBR decided that it was going to be for going up against an eco. They got all the map control they wanted, but again, NaVi had that 5-man stack, the crossfire at long. They had everything going for them, for the guns that they had. So yes, they were at a significant disadvantage. I think it's still true, slim to none in terms of chances. It's absolutely the case. Like you win a round like this 1 every 1,000 rounds, not every 1 every 100, not 1% of the rounds. A full eco with absolutely, I think they at least got that P250. And oh my God, look at that emotion from Simple. He realizes the magnitude of the situation for them to pull that back and to do it in such a fashion as well.
Look at
Electronics getting a big hiss at the end of this.
And he uses that fire, that fuel, to go charging onto the offensive, immediately dropping Fallen and putting MIBR into a situation they want nothing to do with. I think that's a prime example of how, you know, energy, fuel, it's the exact same thing. At least for a man like Simple, an emotional player, but look what happens when he's riled up.
Yeah, he just gets going. And MIBR decided to have, I don't know if it was Fallen to only have a scout or if he actually was able to afford an op. I doubt it, but, you know, we saw him scope up and take that peek and get eliminated without even allowing his bullet to come out. So
Ooh.
Zeus also getting this kill. They have barely seen any CTs, and they're already 5-3.
Right, you die to an aggressive op peek and you die to a fadeaway nade. Fallen scout now in the hands of coldzera. But like you said, they haven't seen anything, Mohan. We've had NaVi doing a very good job of minimizing their presence, not showing skin.
Better bust out the $1 bills.
Get it rolling. It's going to have to now. 30 seconds left up. Furt cut off from his teammate by the flames, at his feet. Runs into the open. Oh, man. He will just catch Simple. That's it and all. However, everything else falls around him. It's looking like MIBR have lost their lead, and we'll be all tied at 9.
Can't believe such an unbelievable amount of momentum that has just been stolen back off of that eco, and only losing 2, and then having saved as well in that previous round means they've got some money left over. Simple again. Well, actually doesn't even have to buy an op here. Can just go ahead and pick up that op from Electronic, drop a rifle to his teammate if he is so courteous, and there is Fallen to just get wiped out. And he only had a scout, so he was relying on a headshot, but he couldn't even get the body shot in. Simple was just a little bit faster. Tough round, tough tournament for MIBR, and 2 rounds ago, Simple was very upset. This round, it is all too different. Will most likely be the team to get to double digits first.
Frag starts off the damage. Door swings wide to the demise of Zeus.
These pistol kills have just got to stop.
Right, and that goes both ways.
For sure.
Both teams falling victim to the sidearms. Simple doesn't want to be added to the tally.
Yeah, they've sacrificed an AK, which they can't get back, and they know is in the hands of one of the MIBR players. That's Fur goes down. They recover it. Simple can't escape. Now Electronic, MP9. He's going to be activated. He's going to go full swing, jumping, flying around with that MP9 as soon as they cross his path.
Like a wildebeest.
Like an otter.
Right. Your favorite water creature.
Oh, I mean land or water, but...
Oh. Well, that's a whole other level of commitment, Mohan.
Mm-hmm.
Just like the commitment Edward will now show as he's got bombed down at his feet. Electronic will eventually, as you said, activate. But it doesn't come in the form of his dancing and prancing. It's just a simple sideline. However, still caught. Tarek to the clutch. No armor. And again, Edward just playing this patient. He was given the bomb, and at that point, you could argue, given the round.
And this is where NaVi might start to shine a little bit more, as if it wasn't already enough. MIBR pulled out the 1 pistol kill in that eco round to make it seem like we're going to have another economic game of chicken to start off this half. And then Simple comes in with 2 clean ones, just like Fallen treated him to on the CT side in a previous round. And MIBR, after this save, will buy up one more time. But again, nobody is safe. Every single round, it seems like it can be pretty competitive, that these teams have been going toe-to-toe, and that shouldn't change just because we are now in the second half. So Simple has the op. He's fallen off for Electronic, a player I'd feel comfortable leaving alone. And Zeus comes out with an opening kill on Stewie, no less.
Electronic still very forward. Oh, boy. I think he just looks away the moment Fur rounds the corner.
Name of the game. Name of the game sometimes. 3 people inside of B, so even though short control gets taken, this wouldn't be the first time that MIBR have walked into a stack. NaVi like to gamble.
Right now they're set up for this B hit. 3 members on the other side. Simple's further back towards Graffiti, decides to throw himself into the water well with Edward. Side by side, they're going to get this done, so it seems.
Oh my God!
Up close!
Oh,
he's got both!
What did we just see? It's always from the third person that we see Simple hit a shot like that in the closing moments of a round, and that was like a 70 to 90 degree flick that he hit just now. It just absolutely decimated whoever that was. Can't even remember his name. Probably get wiped right off his gravestone.
I was going to say, it doesn't matter. You get wrecked that hard, you're erased from history.
You're basically anybody, you know?
Holy. This is when Edward's taking all the heat. Simple comes up just behind him. No scope. Goodbye, smoke. Hello.
She doesn't even need to see the last guy. Why not? Goes right off the sound.
Goes, did I do good? Not even sure.
Am I done? Job done.
Damn.
But they've still got 5 to go.
Just going to keep this one rolling.
Holy smokes. Again, you know, it's a gamble stack. I personally don't know how I feel about it. NaVi, it's just the way they play. You know, they aren't tactically that deep, so they gamble stack sometimes on CT side. And if they have good reads and they know their teams, then maybe there's more to it than just it being a 50-50 A or B, right? There's some information they can try to bait them into. They know their tendencies. They maybe think that what they know this round is actually valid. And, you know, 50% of the time it works every time. So maybe if you're Zeus, you're like, just trust me on this one. Sometimes it works out. That round in particular, it did. And I like how they actually just push through that smoke that T teams are throwing that connects the main pillar to the headshot barrels. And instead of just like letting that play there, having the bomb go down, decided to barrel right through it. Opening trade on the eco round. Again, something that we see all too often. Not a lot of multi-kills. Not a lot of eco spray downs.
Yeah.
Every kill has been labored.
No meat grinders.
Yeah. No eco cobras.
An eco cobra, I like that. Sits in wait and then strikes.
Strikes.
With utter precision, which is what MIBR are going to have to use if they want any real chance in this round. Keep your eyes on Stewie. He has managed to get his paws on an M4.
Well, that's a pretty good find. And he might lead the snake up long and try to get a cheeky peek off. Instant headshot could be end of the road here for Electronic, but again, a fantastic site anchor. Very few people can do his job. He's in a position where he needs support, and he's got that from CT spawn in the form of Simple. And Stewie here might swing, but will it be a swing and a miss?
No, he hits the head, but not enough to put him down. Fallen upgrades into the M4 with 4 pieces of HP. Tarek drop. It's that off of Simple. So tough to get by. All the while, coldzera's looking to take his head off. Now the bomb cannot be planted. There's way too many bodies, and it is what could be the beginning of the end. NaVi on fire with a 3-point lead over top of MIBR. Sure, it was just pistols, so we'll get back into the guns and see if they can extinguish this spree of NaVi.
Sure, yeah, good point. It was just pistols. Second time in this game, NaVi have caught on fire. The first time at 6-3, so the same point disparity in both situations. And here we see Simple just kind of letting shots ring off, just trying not to be a good target to hit, not taking too much time as he peeks out to make sure he doesn't die first and foremost, and then attempting to go ahead and practice his flicks, which we know have worked out very well for him in the past. Boost here just to avoid the wood a little bit, put Simple over the wall and maybe out of a pre-fireable angle, but noticing that there was presence at stairs, does not want to be victim to a door swinging open at him. Also putting a hole in the door to cause some disconcern for the Ts who think they have stairs control, but now have their eyes focused on this one liability. Just making them a bit more uncomfortable.
It was Simple who just fired off a shot. So he's been revealed to MIBR, who still seem to want to float around bathrooms. You know, they're getting into a position slowly, waiting a second, and then creeping one step further. In this case, it's from bathrooms, which they'll fall back from. Back into the depths of which they came through connector and possibly out the door. If they want to hit this B hit, that's where the majority of NaVi wait.
Yeah, and they've got fast rotations from the top of stairs, so maybe MIBR haven't done enough here to make this B hit as clean as they can.
That's a good jump spot from Zeus. It comes at the exact same time that the grenade explodes, so the players are already kind of frantic. It's a good enough slight distraction to not cost him his life. All the while, Electronic finds that opening kill, so it is the edge over to NaVi. The defense have the man advantage, and now, it looked like they were trying to interrupt that bomb plant. Edward comes peeling off of the barrels. He had the cover of the smoke, just like Flamey has himself another kill. It is just Tarek. Down he's dropped. Electronic with another. That's a 13th round for NaVi, and they will continue to extend this lead round after round.
Yeah, it's crazy. They make a sight hold look. They made a retake look like a sight hold with how aggressively they play all of these engagements. Just as the bomb goes down, they're like, "Here's an opportunity. Let's push in together." They know how to turn up the aggression, and they can keep cohesive in those moments. So NaVi pull ahead, get that 13th round at MIBR. I think they do have enough for a buy for sure. So that bomb plant will help out and supplant some income so that they can get nades for each other. But overall, The setup was quite good for NaVi. I think they had a lot of outs. The reason they had Edward on the fast flank, Edward in the site, but then the fast flank from Electronic was because he was playing in bathrooms. They didn't clear him out. So you want to go B, it's not going to be that easy if the CTs have gotten aggressive, and you can always expect that out of people on Overpass. Very common to do. And that's going to be a big problem from MIBR. Got to work extremely hard. We saw how hard Astralis had to work versus NIP, only to still lose on B execs when they cleared out bathrooms, trying a little bit more every single time. Well, it's a little bit late in this game to test things out. They've got to go full force every single round.
Flames burn just a bit. Smoke enables Fur to get out from it, and, well, there's no CTs actually hyper-aggressive. No party peek or something like that. They'll sit slightly further back. Electronic outside of the bathrooms, but Zeus has got to be careful because he's just floating within connector, and he's been left to his own devices.
There he is, Edward. I think he saw that, but he definitely didn't notice.
Here we go. Still? How have they managed to pick up those kills? I mean, they are sitting ducks one upon another. It's Fallen and coldzera now blindsided from that rapid peek from Zeus, who did pick up the opening kill too. It is NaVi with another round. It's a clinical performance here on B.
Yeah, and that's when protocols can maybe get in the way, where I think the first guy, I knew that it was his job to clear out Monster with his teammate who was coming out, and yet he saw the boost and didn't think I need to react in the moment and left that for the second man in, but that gave Edward just enough time to adjust, even though after spotting that body, didn't notice on his screen that he was going to be coming up in the short. So there's NaVi to pull out another one off, making B look impenetrable at the moment, and putting MIBR back on another save, maybe one of the last saves that we'll see.
This is where Zeus managed his first pick last round. When he was coming back up from connector. This time, versus just the pistols, he sticks his head out. He gets smacked in the face by a Deke. Boost on the B bomb site, trying to catch vision into short water, but Tarek's playing a closer position. He's just tucked away and won't be spotted anytime soon.
A lot of T's roaming around in the bathrooms area up until long as well, and this was a consideration for MIBR last round, but they didn't go the full distance. They stuck around a bit outside of bathrooms, then fell back immediately. Don't know if they still want to go B again. But in my opinion, the bomb still looks a bit confused as to what it wants to do. In fact, it gets dropped down all the way to the bottom of the stairs as they move out and try to find a pick. But it'll be simple to find one first.
Right. All the while, Electronic has his duel going on long. Ooh, Stewie with a preemptive tap. Straight to the brains of Flamey. Another one versus Simple. This is a round for MIBR. At least it does seem open because we've got the bomb heading out towards B.
Yeah, and it's actually a long player, and then Edward, who has been spotted by Fallen, who is out here. Fallen, does he die? Oh my goodness. That might not have been a kill that they, maybe he didn't actually know that Edward was there.
It would have been close down to just the millimeters. And this retake could come down to the milliseconds, because they have to wait until they're side by side. And it's Tarek who resides up close with the CZ, the timing, the spacing, it's all there for him! And it's another round, at least for MIBR, a lifeline. Because we talked about the anti-ecos and how they've been working out so well. Well, not this time, Launders. For the first time, MIBR win a T-sided round, and it comes off of the back of just sidearms.
Yeah, pretty nuts stuff. I mean, it was Stewie to get the 2K with the rifle, which is big. So that was a pretty critical moment for them on the A sites. But as soon as Fallen dies, you think, okay, well, Tarek's going to have a tough time now with the CZ, small mag, and it's an auto-fire gun, so it's going to shoot those bullets a lot faster than it would if you were to tap with another one. And he manages his ammo perfectly. Shoots only 6 bullets on the first, 6 bullets on the second, and puts 2 away. And around in the books. The peaks could have been a little bit smoother for NaVi, but they didn't know he was there. They were just kind of considering it.
That was a 7-round spree from NaVi. Put down to a close.
And versus Astralis, they actually won 10 in a row to get to 14, I believe.
Right. So the show's not over, folks. Simple. Oh, rapid peek into the playgrounds. He wants to be that one difference maker.
That's a shot you miss. Like 9 times out of 10, you know, that's nuts.
Right, we talk about the fact that 1 out of every 4 rounds, he's picking himself up a multi-kill. And he is the sole reason it's not a 5 versus 3 right now. Edward, caught off from the barrel, still manages a kill. I think he's lucky to be alive. Still, however, anybody's round. Zeus is going to get closer and caught by coldzera, so Simple has to finish this round the same way he started it, with 2 frags alone.
Not enough money to buy next round if he loses. Will he think about saving? I'm sure it's going to be on his mind with Zeus in his ear, but if the kill is given up easily enough, maybe he goes for the 1v1. Good after-plant spots here for MIBR. They are playing it quite safe.
Right, Simple only has the double flashbang, so he'd need the rapid pick and then blanket the bomb, tap it, and try to deal with the player on short. Clearly not going to try any of those steps. This is an 11th for MIBR. So crucial, Mohan, that they didn't get reset, because that would have spelt utter disaster.
Everybody from NaVi is pulling over 80 ADR, with Electronic leading the way at 106. And it's been a solid performance across the board. It's actually most players from MIBR are doing well as well. Terexov got over 100 ADR. It's the 3 in the middle are hovering around. Oh, actually 2 in the middle are hovering around 88. Fallen 67, or Stewie 67, and then Fallen's down at 50. Going to be a key component in a comeback if there is one. And there it is. So I don't have to rely on my voice to remember what the ADRs are, where the ADRs fall. NaVi 14-11 in the power position. Pause is called to go over tactics, strategy, what's for dinner. And I don't know if that sound means that this is if a game is over and this is the game that is now being broadcast in the stadium, or if I'm the only person that can hear it and we sound crazy.
Well, ooh, hello folks.
Okay.
Welcome to the C stream, now technically the A stream. What you guys are tuning into was a 7-round spree from NaVi. Put to sleep by MIBR, they converted the points, and off of the back of that, we've got NaVi in a pause right now.
It's kind of crazy the amount of eco rounds that have been won both ways, and NaVi coming out ahead in most of them, I think, in a very critical moment, very emotional moment, where Simple in the second round of this half was able to pull out a round, and off the back of Electronic winning a 1v2 with a P250. What was basically a full save, a 1 in 1,000 round. And now NaVi from there have taken the second half away and ran with it. They are definitely momentum-based in many ways and are showing us why.
Yeah, if you thought MIBR was already having a bit of a tough tournament, then a tough opponent in NaVi, who've just making the most of every single round. We've seen a lot of these picked up by MIBR actually come down to just a couple clutches. A consistent 1 versus 2 affair. But that's neither here nor there. It's NaVi and MIBR in the closing 5 rounds.
Yeah,
round 4.
They've went ahead and just decided to force into this, even though MIBR won the last round. They don't have much money to work with. On the CT side, these SMGs are a little bit more viable. They've only got the 5.7 in the hands of Edwards, but the big guns are finally in the correct hands. Simple, opping, Electronic with a rifle. This is their comfort zone. He's got a full utility belt as well, and sometimes they can just win this whole game for a team, and I wouldn't put it past them to pull out this round as well. MIBR out to long. 4 players here as NaVi have decided to stack into B one more time, but this time they don't have the anchor back at A, and this time MIBR are moving quite quickly.
Right, they're going to find that one open for the taking. It's a play that NaVi have made previously, and this time it's not going to work out at all. But it does transition nicely into a save, Mohan.
Yeah, and they can recycle these guns. One of the values of being on the CT side is being able to save and still get that lost bonus. Oh, Simple though, dropping the op, not knowing that they have taken over the A site means that not only are hopes lost, but that's a pretty big economic hit for NaVi moving into this next round. And again, this is a map that it just feels like MIBR were not in it mentally and are suddenly making it quite competitive.
Hello, no save on the cards. At least not for Zeus. Electronic just behind him, decides to fade away. The rest of his team still over towards T-spawn. So, yeah, this is a 12th for MIBR, no doubt. Left scratching my head, however. How costly is that going to be, losing Simple's op?
Yeah, it's pretty bad. You know, they bought down to 0 on this round. They forced up. They really invested a lot in Simple, and it's kind of interesting to see them pull the goalie, have absolutely no players at A with a minute up. But then conversely, looking at, oh my goodness, and the saddened face of Electronic. Can definitely hear some MIBR fans in the crowd excited about how close this match is. But the saddened face of Electronic, because that's a round they could have saved 5 They just had no info. MIBR didn't throw too many tells in terms of utility when approaching the A site. And so it was very difficult to know when it was safe to rotate in.
And on top of that, I think that we haven't really seen that kind of pacing from MIBR, seeing as they've been playing off the back foot for the majority of this game, and most importantly, the T side. I feel like, you know, we had that slow connector creep, we had an eventual bathrooms crunch. Never did we have them just gunning up long. So, an evident round of being caught off guard. But Zeus has been consistent in this position, floating up and down. And unfortunately for him, the only bailout might come from Simple, swinging the door wide, and a double peek versus Stewie's good enough to catch a kill. We've got coldzera hot on his heels, and he's not going to expect that. Trade frag efficient. Flamey sprays through as he does charge on past the monster, leaving us 3v3.
Rotations are really strained at the moment. Even though CTs have so much information, so far away from A, it's tough because the kills that came down were on the side of the map, so you know that NaVi are going to be, or sorry, MIBR are going to be incentivized to move quickly. Electronic's been good with Deagle in the past, but that kill is going to lock things up, it looks like, for MIBR.
Yeah, pack it up and lock it down. That is Flamey and Edward giving up another round. And the lead cut to 1.
To 1, yeah. If this is tournament life for NaVi, if they don't win this match, I really don't think that there's a chance for them to make finals. Maybe if they pull off the tie, there's some strange world where that's enough for them. But overall, I mean, the big win versus Astralis, you know, you wouldn't want that to be the highlight of your tournament. When you take out the best team here, you need to, you know, go ahead, punch all the way through, make it to the final match as well.
Right, like NiP, who have actually secured their position in the grand finals now.
There you go.
So, take a page out of the Ninja's book. NaVi going to save 2 AKs, move them forward into the 28th round, where MIBR will be well equipped and hot on the heels of NaVi. We talked about that 7-round spree that NaVi started this second half with. Well, that right there, folks, is the 4th in a row for MIBR. If they tie at 14 rounds apiece, we're looking at them on fire.
And what's going to be most present in your mind in these later stages of the game is how many recent rounds have we won? Why haven't we won recent rounds? What has changed? You know, it's the team at the end of the day, near the end of the match, that really gets to dictate how the game felt overall. When we talk about the game and the game's over, yeah, NaVi won 7 rounds in the middle there, but it was MIBR that made the adjustments. They adapted, right? They learned. And that's almost more impressive. So pulling out a pistol, sealing up an anti-eco, that's cool. And sometimes those numbers can help you win. But all that's going to matter for MIBR is these final few rounds, and they've already shown that they are better at this moment than NaVi.
I mean, listen, we had MIBR win 5 out of the last 7 rounds in the first half. They already had their back against the walls. They have faced that difficult situation twice now within 1 map. And yet they've almost survived the trials and tribulations. It's going to be a quick hit into the B-bomb site. Flamey certainly going to be tested. He's fully blind right away, and Stewie regains vision in time. Edward towards the ramp with Zeus just behind him, and they're also blindsided. It is Stewie 2K straight forward, and he's puncturing this B site through and through. Finally put down, but at what cost? The bomb's been planted, and MIBR look primed for a 14th round.
Leave it to Stewie to make a man of the match move when it matters most, especially with the entries on B. This is what he was signed on for. He was so good on the site, whether it's on CT side or when he's entrying, and that was incredible. There was a well-placed nade by NaVi. It was so well-timed, it dropped right into Monster just as 2 players came out and the damage was dealt, but it wasn't enough. It was not enough. The site has been compromised. Simple is in an interesting spot. Can actually save up here and wants to apply maybe some pressure, but I think is most concerned with simply not dying. Fallen gonna spot him quickly. They trade glances, but Fallen finally gets the kill. Simple out, and they don't have the money to opt, not comfortably at least.
Oh boy. Like we said, you can see the logo engulfed in flames. 2 rounds left no matter what. Stewie 2K, what a beast. Just charges forward, rounds the corner, 1 committed spray down as well. And it's not the first time Simple's lost the op.
MIBR are on 0 points at this event. They have no maps, and they just got 16-5 by NiP on train today. And now they're going to beat NaVi on the map they just beat Astralis on. That would be the highest of upsets. But here, Simple has other plans.
He has taken a page right out of Stu, stepping up when it matters absolutely most. It's a graphical glitch. There's 3 players alive here for MIBR. And they're all going to group themselves together, congregate towards that B bomb site. Who's waiting for them? Flamey and Edward. But they've actually opened up a route to the bomb site. We might have MIBR walking into B with false confidence, because NaVi will be so hot on their heels if once they turn around, it's a silent endeavor.
Oh, yeah, and there's a flash thrown by the short players. It's going to alert MIBR that this is where their competition is.
So the Molotov prevents them from rejecting the bomb plant. That's a part of this equation that is already nabbed away. And then we get the follow-up volley of smokes. They could go for the boost over the sandbags. That would most certainly give vision to the one player still sitting on top of the bomb, coldzera. Down he goes, first to fall. Tarek's gonna be up close, and we've got that Opper now working around the pillar. It's Stewie 2K looking to pick up something more. It is just Tarek left, and down he goes. That's NaVi on 15. A 30th round, most certainly needed here. It's a tie or a win for NaVi, and man, would that ever mean something to go the distance.
It's a relief. It really is for them to get this 15th round, but that's only because it felt like for a moment there that they would straight up lose. Still, they need to get the victory. They need the 3 points. And so the job isn't done and simple. He's not done either. He's been consistent. He's showed up when it hurts, and he's going to have to do it one more time because they need to seal this up 16-14. So much more on the line here for NaVi than MIBR, and they are flailing at the most important time.
You've got Simple looking again aggressively for that opening pick. Something he'll happily throw their way, but falls off immediately so. There's no AWP here for MIBR to try and counter him with. It's going to have to be a team-based endeavor.
Again, early out towards A control. Players poking around, thinking about bathrooms, trying not to get ops, but trying to be deliberate, confident, and productive. Snake is here. So you can see how zoomed in the minimap is. All of the terrorists on the outside of the bathrooms, clearly intent on sneaking up for a contact play towards the A site.
All 5 of them slithering forward still. Smoke at the feet of Fur. Electronic's gonna peek, and he's got himself 2. It's cut down by Tarek, sure enough. Simple within this bomb site is gonna feel the pressure because here comes MIBR's final push, and he's cut down coldzera from the back of it. Tarek trying to find some kind of comfort zone, and it's not gonna be given at all. It is NaVi with a 16th round, and that right there, folks, is